Okay, we are live in YouTube, but Facebook is not live. Okay, hello, hi. Welcome to our stock seminar. Now currently we are live in YouTube. Okay, so currently we are also trying to log in into our Facebook. Okay, hopefully we can be live in the Facebook. So sorry for the delay. Okay, so while we wait for the Facebook to be live. Okay, currently I think yeah, I don't know what happened. Okay, we can't connect to Facebook. Okay, hello, Shi Hong, how are you? Okay, 你好，OK，看到你了，OK。然后Wally，nice to meet you. Okay, so I think there are already some YouTube followers that connect to our YouTube and is live, but I don't know why we can't get live in Facebook. Okay, so before we get started, hello, hi, Jin. Okay, Jin H. Okay, Jun H. So nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay. But the bulk of our students, okay, the bulk of our students, most of them are using Facebook. So please pardon me. Wait for a while. Wait for a few minutes while we try to connect to Facebook Live. Okay. Okay. I think my guys are trying to set up. Okay, the Facebook Live. Please hang on for a while. Hi, Lim Ka Yi. Hello, 你好. Okay, how are you? Okay, welcome to our YouTube live. Okay, while we try to set up the Facebook. So what we do is concurrently, we hope to let our Facebook audience, our followers, also get a few tips, get to know about the stock market recently. I think the stock market has been quite good. You can see a lot of indices are at all-time high now. Especially S&P 500 as well as Nasdaq. Okay, so later we shall share with you how the market will be. Perhaps what are the stocks you can look at for this second half of the year. Hello, Vincent. Hi. Okay, Lim Ka Yi. Hello. Okay, yeah, we are still trying to set up our Facebook Live. So sorry for it. Okay, so today there are a lot of news actually. Example, OPEC, there's a meeting. There's also, today is also the first day of every month, so there are a lot of big reports coming up. Okay, while we set up, okay, let us see what happened. Okay, so there is a OPEC meeting, and if some of you know, crude oil, okay, is now breaking new high. Today crude oil reached around near to $76. So later I will give you my outlook, how perhaps crude oil might be, even for some commodities. Okay, if some of you have questions, you can also ask. Okay, perhaps why don't we do this? Okay, while waiting for our Facebook to be set up, maybe you have some questions in YouTube. If you have some questions, do ask. I'll try my very best to answer your question. Okay, yeah, do you have any questions? If you have, do ask. Perhaps let me try to answer your question before we connect to our Facebook. Okay, any questions for me, you can ask in YouTube. Hello, hi, CHT. Okay, I saw you. Okay, hello, Vincent. Hello. Okay, so what we do is we are my guys are trying to set up the Facebook Live. Okay, so this is technology. I think we are still living in the 4G era. Okay, so that's why there are a lot of connection problem. Perhaps maybe the internet is not good or whatever. Okay, so yeah, while waiting for Facebook, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, I think we do have a lot of audience already in YouTube, right? Okay, YouTube, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, teacher, do you foresee banking to fall again? My take is yes. Okay, I don't think banking sector has dropped to a bottom. So just in case you want to buy banking stocks, fear not, there will be chance you will buy cheap again. I do foresee another fall in banking stocks. So over the last 1 month, a lot of bank stocks has fallen. Some has fallen around 10%, some has fallen around 15%. Okay, so I foresee that last month we have reached the high, so there is bound to be some technical rebound, but I don't think this high will be breached soon. Okay, so I foresee that there might be even something like a head and shoulder forming. So there is a chance for us to sell banking shares again. So for banking shares, please don't buy now. Okay, the bottom has not come yet. So I foresee that Dow Jones or even S&P 500 index might have some correction. Okay, apart from technology, I think all the other sectors may not be spared. There might be some correction. Okay, so wait till the low point. We might get a chance to buy banking shares cheap again. Okay. Okay. Next, how's my view on BTC? Okay, Bitcoin. Okay, BTC. Currently, Bitcoin, the support definitely is at the halfway point, a 50% drop from the top. Okay, so it's somewhere around 30K. Because Bitcoin dropped from somewhere around 60 plus K, now currently is hovering around 30,000. Definitely 30,000 is a strong support. I don't know whether Bitcoin has a chance of further drop. If we break below 30,000, just be careful. It might head towards 17,000 point. Okay, but if Bitcoin has a rebound from here, I do expect Bitcoin to have a very strong resistance somewhere around 50,000 point. Okay, so if you are looking for shorting opportunity, 50,000 point is the point to look at. Okay, so if you rebound 20K from now, 30,000 to 50,000, another shorting opportunity will be at 50,000 point. Okay, I don't think it will reach all-time high again, by the way. How is clean energy doing in this cycle? I would say clean energy, after the big drop, okay, the last few months, a lot of stocks has dropped, especially the tech stock, those high growth counters. So clean energy, it has also dropped quite a bit. Okay, but then again, with tech stocks rebound, I think that clean energy might have a chance of rebounding too. Okay, so there are a lot of sectors when we talk about green energy. So it can be traditional businesses like turbine companies, okay, or those high-tech companies, the EV battery companies. Okay, so currently I would say the EV battery companies or even the EV stocks has dropped to a low point. So going forward, one of the sector you can look at is definitely the EV companies. Okay, maybe at Facebook offer link to YouTube to view. I have to search YouTube in order to find whether it's live. Okay, yeah, so sorry for it. Okay, I don't know what happened. Let my guys sort it out. Okay, so previously you mentioned about market correction is happening soon. Is the view the same? Okay, yes, my view is the same, but it needs to break a certain support. If we break a certain support this month, there might be further drop. Okay, so later, once my guys set up my Facebook live, later I will show you some charts. So I will share with you this month in July, what are the critical support to watch out for. So if we break that support, there might be further drop. Okay, will energy continue to fall? Okay, my take is yes. Okay, my take is yes. Okay, for a few reasons. Number one, the sector has already reached a peak. Okay, sector stocks has already reached a peak. Number two, I do foresee crude oil from now onwards, it will start its drop. I do understand that today is OPEC meeting. In fact, that's also the reason why crude oil today is now breaking a high point. Now it's around hovering at $75 plus to $76. The highest just now it reached 75 and 80 cents, $75.80. Okay, so I do foresee that going forward in this second half of the year, crude oil might have a chance of dropping somewhere around 15 to 20%. So that means for those crude oil stocks, definitely there's a chance of correction. Okay. Sifu, the low point you mentioned, do you mean a crash or correction like what happened in March and May this year? It is a correction. To me, it's not a bear market crash. It's not the start of bear market. So don't worry, okay? This correction can be in the magnitude, I'm talking about the index, it can be in the magnitude of 10 amount correction to somewhere around 20%, which I consider a very severe correction, okay? So mild correction, it'll be somewhere around 10%. Severe correction, it'll be somewhere around 20% from the peak. But that means if, let's say, the index dropped by 10%, the individual counters or stock may have a chance of dropping more than that. So if some of you know March, NASDAQ, okay, NASDAQ index dropped somewhere around 12% from the peak, okay, from 14,000 points. And you can see that's the reason why some tech stocks drop a lot. In fact, some tech stocks even drop more than 50%, right? More than 50%. Later, I'm going to talk about what are the counters that has dropped really, really, really cheap, okay? Okay, so my guys, give me a thumbs up. Does that mean the Facebook is okay? Okay now, so you can see me. Finally, okay? So let's get started again. So good evening. Sorry for the late start. So just now we have some technical issues because of Facebook. Okay, I don't know why. The last few rounds of Facebook, there's always some technical issues. Okay, so sorry for it. There is a late start, but never mind. Now I'm being connected to both the YouTube and Facebook Live. So if you are following us, if you want to know more about market outlook as well as stock discussion, can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, can you give me a thumbs up? Or can you give me a yes sign so that I know you're around? Let me see whether Facebook, okay, let me see whether there are some messages coming so that I know you're around. Okay, let me take a look. Is there some comments in Facebook? Okay, YouTube is doing fine. Okay, I can see Monicam, okay? Hello, nice to meet you. Okay, nice to meet you, Monicam in Facebook, okay? That's the only message I see. Okay, can someone check is Facebook running? Okay, so YouTube is doing fine. Okay, Beyond Meat is still a good stock to hold. My take is yes. Okay, Tracy Kwa asks. Okay, Beyond Meat, I would say is of course it's a risky stock. It's so-called they said it's a meme stock. I don't know what meme. Okay, so basically it means that people are shorting this stock crazily. Okay, the short interest is so high that almost 1/5 of the stock is shorted in the market. So that is what we call a meme stock nowadays. Okay, so like GameStop, Beyond Meat is a highly shorted stock. Okay. Okay, I think my guys need to check. Okay, the comments, is it running? I can't see the comments in Facebook. I can't see the comments in Facebook. I don't know whether I'm live in Facebook. Okay. Okay, so but I can see YouTube definitely. Okay, so just now I think one of you asked about Beyond Meat. This is the stock. In fact, Beyond Meat is a stock I put in my watch list. Okay, but it's a highly speculative stock. Okay, because it's called what we call a meme stock. Okay, basically it means, okay, I don't know whether is it meme or mime or whatever. Okay, but this is a new term that I found. Okay, in finance. So basically it means it's a highly shorted stock. Okay, it's a highly shorted stock whereby the short interest is so high that almost 1/5 of the stock is being shorted by the market. 1/5 of the float is being shorted by the market. Okay, this type of stock, if there is a good news coming out, if there is a earnings announcement, there may be a sudden jump or gap in price. There may be a sudden jump or gap in price. Okay, and that is what happened a few months back. So because of some good news, this stock jumped from around $156 to $220. A jump of somewhere around 70 bucks. Okay, 70 bucks. That day I make some money off this stock. Okay, so what happened is after which this stock crashed. It dropped from $200 to almost a $100 stock. Okay, But then again, after the bad earnings in recent quarter, this stock is back up 50% again. So this stock is so speculative. It can go down 50%. It can easily come up 50% in just 1 month. Okay, so why is it so speculative? Because this is a highly shorter stock. To me, this stock is almost just like 3 years ago, what happened to Tesla. So there was a period in time Tesla, it was hovering around $200 to $300, and people keep on shorting this stock. It's a highly shorter stock, just like Beyond Meat. But all it takes is one good earnings quarter. One good earnings quarter is all I ask for in the next coming quarters. If there's one good earnings quarter that happened to this stock can jump. This stock can gap up a lot, okay? And there might be what we call a revival, okay? A revival, okay? So be warned about this stock. It can go down a lot. It can also go up a lot because it's a highly shorter stock, okay? Of course, it may not be as severe as what we call the GameStop stock, okay? But, okay, this stock can gap up. So what I want to do is hopefully I wait for a very good earnings quarter. Once this earnings quarter issue a very good report, issue a very good earnings against the market expectation, that is when institution will come and buy up this stock. Of course, those short sellers who shorted the stock, they need to buy at a higher price. If this stock suddenly gap up a lot, they need to buy at a higher price. And of course, the wheel continues. Okay, so this is one stock that I like because I would say it's the #1 brand when it comes to protein-based meat. Okay, when it comes to protein-based meat. Now in America, there's a culture whereby some people switch from real meat to protein-based meat. And Beyond Meat is the #1 company in the whole wide world when it comes to producing protein-based meat. Of course, I do know they are competitors. But let me tell you something. In the F&B industry, you don't have to worry about competitors. If you are the #1 brand, people will buy your product. And that's what happened to Beyond Meat. A lot of restaurants, a lot of franchises like KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, Starbucks, McDonald's, they would rather order from Beyond Meat than other companies, okay? So what I like about this company is they are doing expansion. They want to go into China. And starting from January, they are already selling their meat in China. That's what I like about this company. And one thing about F&B industry stock, normally, any industries that go to China, they will face strong competition from the local companies, except F&B products, except F&B company. So that's the reason why I foresee in future, if they have a stakehold in China, if it comes out, if there is a very good earnings, okay, especially in China market, I think this stock has a good chance of going up, okay? So this will definitely be, I would say, a very speculative stock. So it will be part of my watch list, okay? Now, yeah, now I can see, okay, our Facebook followers, okay? Welcome, okay? How about the coin? Has it reached a bottom as there's 2 hollow red candle? Okay, so just now I did talk about that in our YouTube live, okay? So if you want to talk about this cryptocurrency, okay, I do have a, okay. By the way, if some of you know, in Facebook, I'm not allowed to talk about cryptocurrency, okay? So that's the reason why I need to put a hashtag there, okay? So bit ... okay? In May, what happened? The cryptocurrency will collapse, right? So not only bit ... but other alternate currencies crash. So especially this index, it crashed almost 50% in the span of 1 month, from a high of 65K to as low as 30,000 points. And of course, today I think it's somewhere hovering around 33 to 34,000 points. Okay, but any index, I'm not only talking about this index, any index in this world, that drop half the price. Half the price. So you just need to take 65K divided by 2. I call it the half rule. Okay? So can you please write down this rule? Okay? The first thing you must take note. Okay? I call it the half rule. Okay? Any index in this world, if it has a chance of dropping half point from the highest peak, from the bull market high. So for this big okay, 65,000 divided by 2 will be 32K. 32K. If we reach 32,000, there will be a strong support there. So currently, it's still hovering around that support. Okay, there are only two ways this index can go. Number one, if we drop below 30,000 strongly, okay, drop below that 30,000, the halfway point strongly, there is a good chance it may drop further. So what am I looking at? Another half from the halfway point line. So if you are talking about 32,000 is the halfway point, if it drop below 30,000 strongly, it might head toward, okay, 16,000 to 17,000 range. Okay, that's the strongest support I'm looking at. Okay. Number two, this half rule holds. Okay, at 32,000 it rebound. Okay, but my take is it will never go up to 65,000 anymore. Okay, at least not in the next 1 to 2 years. So don't bother in aiming for an all-time high again. I don't foresee this index to head towards 65,000 again. There will be a very strong resistance. I would say very strong resistance. This year, ultimate resistance for big ... Okay, it will be 50K. It will be 50,000. So it's either one or two things happen. One, it hover between 30,000 to 50,000. This range for at least 1 year. Okay, 30,000 to 50,000 for at least 1 year. So you will see alternate coins, other currencies, other cryptocurrencies. It will also be in a sideways range. Sorry to say that. I do understand some of you might be holding some crypto, okay? But I don't foresee it to hit all-time high again. So hopefully at 50,000, if some of you are still holding on to your currencies, this is my take. Try to liquidate. If it does come back to 50,000, this is for you a chance to run off again. Okay. I call it in Chinese 逃命波. It's for you to 逃命. Okay, so you better 逃. You better run. Okay, or number two, it break the halfway point of 30,000 to 32,000. If it break 30,000, it's going towards like what I said, 16,000 to 17,000. That is the ultimate low point I'm aiming for this currency. Okay, for this currency. Okay, so in the history of big ... Okay, in the history of this currency, there are 2 times it dropped half. That means 75% from the top. 75% from the top. Okay, the first time it happened, okay, is when crypto, okay, is when this index reached 1,000 point. I forgot what year. That year I'm being interviewed by the media and they asked me, can you comment on this index? Okay, and I say this index is beyond belief. Okay, from almost a $200 index, it reached 1,000 point within a span of 1-2 years. Okay, then from that point on, it crashed. It did not even stop at 500. It crashed beyond that. It reached the lowest 250 point. And that is the half point I'm talking about. The moment this index dropped half, it's time to buy in again. Whatever currency that you think is cheap, it's time to buy in again. Okay? So the second time it reached the highest peak is 20,000, right? So from 20,000, what happened? It dropped to 10,000, hover there for a while, a few months, just like almost today, 30,000 point. Okay? Then it break the 10,000 point, it heads towards 5,000. In the end, it stopped at around 4,000 bucks. Okay, so it dropped below half. Okay, so this is what I I want you to do, okay? Number one, if you want to buy it real cheap, this is not the price yet. The real cheap price is 16,000 to 17,000 point based on the last 10 years of historical evidence, okay? This index, it can go up a lot, it can also crash a lot. So it can drop to somewhere around there, okay? 16,000 to 17,000, what I call the half point, okay? Second, there may be some support around here. It may last for a few months. It really, okay, depends. That halfway line, which is 30,000 to 32,000, is the support. So if this support holds and it starts to run in the next few months, the highest I predict is 50K. Okay, so at 50K, you may want to sell away some of your cryptocurrencies if you are still holding on to it. Okay, now crude oil futures is flying. Okay, has your view changed? Okay, let us take a look at crude oil today. Okay, so you can see crude oil price is now at $75.80. My view has not changed. Crude oil in the next few months, it will correct big time. I predict it will correct to as low as around $60. Okay, so no matter how much it runs, please don't buy it now. Okay, please don't buy it now. I do understand today it ran around $2.42. It's because there is a OPEC meeting. People are predicting that Saudi Arabia and Russia, they are going to come out with a proposal. And that proposal is they are going to increase production, but increase production less than expectation. Okay, so if I were to type in OPEC latest news. Sorry, yeah, OPEC latest news. But the news is not out yet, and the stock has already run around $2 plus. Okay, just now I saw a news. Okay, just now I saw a news. It's not by Reuters. Okay, but I don't know where is it. Okay, because now today everybody is talking about crude oil. Okay, so what happened is, let's take a look. Okay, so this is what the consensus says. Okay, the market expect crude oil, the production will be somewhere around 500,000 BPD, okay, or slightly more. Okay, so it was mentioned that if OPEC does keep a conservative stance and increase its production in a cautious manner and up to 500,000 BPD is definitely cautious, the price will be supported. Okay, so it was mentioned that this will be the first rise of crude oil production in the last 1 year after crude oil crashed below $0. Crude oil last year, April, it suffered its heaviest collapse. It went to negative $40, okay, per share. So that is unimaginable. So from that point on, what happened is all the OPEC countries as well as Russia, they come to a consensus. They will not increase production at all. They want crude oil price to rise back up again. But today, crude oil price is hovering around $70 to $80, which is exactly what they want. That's the reason why this OPEC meeting, they want to increase production. It's time to reap profits. It's time to increase more oil. If not, they won't be making money. The Middle East countries, they will suffer. Okay, they not only suffer from today, COVID, they suffer from crude oil price. They can't sell enough crude oil. It can't last forever. This production will be the first increase after a 1 year collapse. And let me tell you something. Although the consensus says they want to supply, okay, 500,000, 0.5 million BPD, okay? The consensus is they are looking for this amount. Even if today Saudi Arabia or Russia, they come out to a consensus, if they come out to a consensus of 500,000 BPD, let me tell you, crude oil has a chance of correcting a lot, crash over the next few months because everybody expect this number. It is already priced in. If not, why does crude oil rise $2 today? Everything is already priced in. What if, okay? Later they come out with 400,000. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. People think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. Over the next few months, crude oil price has a chance. After this July increase, I do foresee crude oil chance have a chance of correcting big time. Okay, so don't buy crude oil anymore. Instead, you should look for shorting opportunities. And same with energy stocks. Okay, same with energy stocks. Okay, so I would say this month, because of this meeting, crude oil will have or might have a turnaround. Okay, might have a turnaround. Okay. Okay, good. I think what I will do now is I'm going to go into my PowerPoint. I did prepare a lot of things for you, okay? But time is short. Just now we have a delay, okay, of around 15 minutes. So sorry for it. So today I want to summarize what happened this first half of the year, and following which I want to tell you what might happen in the second half of the year, okay? In this first half of the year, let me share with you, quite a few index collapse in price. I don't say it's a crash, but it's a collapse. A lot of index drop as much as 15% to even 30%, 20%, okay, 15 to 20%, okay? So let me ask you this. Do you know which is the first index that corrected this year? This year, in first half of the year. Can you give me some feedback, okay? Do you know which index corrected in first half of this year? Okay, which is the first index that corrected in first half of this year? Okay. How high can Nvidia go? I really don't know. I really don't know. Okay, it can go perhaps until its share split date. Okay, share split date. People like share split a lot in America. Okay, it's share split. Okay, for Nvidia is one of my favorite stock, by the way. Because it's a stock related to AI and 5G, okay? Yeah, it will share split in the middle of this month, 19th of July. Today, Nvidia is really unstoppable. I've been talking about share split a lot, especially in my elite program, okay? So if you have attended my elite program, you know, okay? Share split is one thing that I like to bet on, okay? Especially after a good share split announcement, come good earnings report, okay? So this stock has gone crazy from almost $540, it went up to $814, okay? So general trend is that a good share split, especially to a good counter like Nvidia, it can even run up until the share split date. But after which, remember to sell away your share. Okay, whatever is priced in, whatever the expectation already priced in, it will start its fall. Okay, Nvidia has a good chance of falling somewhere around 20 to as much as 30% in the next half a year after share split. Okay, so take note, before share split you buy, once you make money, on the share split date you need to sell, or before the share split date, remember to sell away your shares. Okay, okay, anyway, let's take a look. Yeah, I think most of you got it right. Okay, Raymond said Nasdaq, Yahui Wong said Nasdaq, okay. Gold index corrected first. Yeah, these are the two index that corrected first. Gold and Nasdaq this year in the first half of this year. Okay. So let us take a look. Okay. Okay. So what happened? This is the chart of Nasdaq. Last year, COVID, Nasdaq went to as low as 7,000 points. Okay. So when is the collapse of Nasdaq? I would say a correction, not a collapse, a correction. Okay, the moment it hits around near to 14,000 point at the early part of this year in the first quarter, somewhere around February to March period, it dropped somewhere around 12% from the peak. Okay, then you may say, Daniel, 12% isn't much of a drop, right? Consider Nasdaq has already doubled its amount. Okay, so you can see Nasdaq increased from last year March. That was the start of COVID. Okay, that was the start of the bull market after COVID, right? So from almost 7,000 points, it hits the all-time high figure at the time. Okay, in February it hits around 14,000 points, 13,925 to be exact. Okay, then following which Nasdaq dropped a lot in just 1 month. It dropped from around 14,000 to as low as 12,200. This is a drop of 12%. 12%. Okay. But guess what? A lot of tech stocks did not drop 12%. Most of the tech stocks on average dropped 20 to 30%. But there are some tech stocks that really crash. So you can see if the index dropped 10%, your stock can crash. Your stock can drop 30, 40, sometimes as much as 50%. And that's what happened. Okay, that's what happened. Let's take a look. What are the tech stocks? Okay, and at the time I still remember in February, somebody tell me, Daniel, what do you think of this bond yield problem? If some of you remember in February, if you have been playing US shares for some time, if you keep track of some news, in February there are some analysts that say bond yield rise is not good for tech stocks, right? There was a period in time, bond yield was suddenly increasing. It was increasing like crazy, okay? And from almost 0 point something percent, it shot up to somewhere around 1.7%. And by the way, let me remind you what's the bond yield rate today, okay? When we talk about bond yield, most of the time we are talking about the 10-year bond yield, okay? So let's take a look at the 10-year bond yield rate. Hey, wait a minute, where's my bond yield rate? I can't see it. Ah, it's here, okay? Okay, so what happened is there was a time, okay, this 10-year bond yield starts its rise, okay, from last August 0.5 percent to around 1.7%, okay, and when it was hovering around 1.7%, people were screaming, sell your tech stocks, okay, and at the time I said, okay, at the time I did say it, a few months later, this won't be an excuse for tech stocks drop, okay? In fact, on average, over the last 10 years, okay, bond yield normally hover around the inflation rate of around 2 to 3%. And over the last 10 years, nobody is talking about the high price of bond yield and why doesn't it cause the tech stocks to drop, okay? Nobody were questioning about it, okay? So what happened is, in March, a lot of tech stocks collapsed. People cannot find a reason to justify why it collapsed. And they come up with an excuse at the time. I call it, is this just an excuse by Wall Street to justify the collapse of tech stocks? They find no reason why other sectors keep on increasing to a high price, but tech stocks crash. And they come up with this excuse called a bond yield rate. It was rising to 1.7%. So everybody sounded that alarm. Okay, so a lot of news covered that. Okay, so to me, that was not the excuse of Nasdaq crash. Okay, the real reason why Nasdaq in February dropped a lot, why a lot of tech stock dropped a lot. Do you want to know the reason? Okay, if you want to know the reason, It will also be the exact reason why a lot of stocks in the next few months, they may start this correction, okay? If you want to know the reason why NASDAQ dropped in February and March, and by the way, it has nothing got to do with bond yield, okay? The real reason why NASDAQ dropped, if you want to know the answer, give me a one sign. Give me a one sign, let me explain to you why, okay? Give me a one sign, okay? The more ones, the more willingly I share with you, okay? Andy Chia said Jumia, yes, one of the stock you can look at is Jumia, okay? Later I explain why, okay? Give me a one sign, I'm going to share with you the reason why NASDAQ dropped a lot, okay? In February, it caused a lot of tech stocks to crash, okay? And especially those stocks that's related to a person called Cathy Wood, okay? If you know who is she, okay? So the real reason why NASDAQ dropped a lot is because of this rule, okay? It's called the double up rule. I've been talking about this many years back, okay? Double up rule, okay? So every time your index increase 2 times its value, there's bound to be a big resistance. From my research and from my so-called studies, okay, normally it can drop somewhere around 15 to 20%. That's a norm. If your index double up after a huge bull market rally, this index has a chance of dropping somewhere around 15 to 20%. And that's the reason why there was a drop, okay? Of course, this drop is not 15%. What I'm saying is on average, there is a good chance it may drop 15 to 20%. But I've seen indices doesn't drop that much, but at least it dropped somewhere around 10%, which is what NASDAQ did in February, right? It dropped around 12% from the peak, from 14,000 points, 13,009 to be exact. It dropped to somewhere around 12,002, a drop of 1,700 points within 1 month, okay? But you may say, Daniel, this is just a small drop. This is just a small drop, okay? But let me tell you, it's not a small drop to some counters. In the technology world, there are many industries. So what happened is those high-tech growth stocks, so-called very good growth stock that has potential growth, it crashed. It crashed. So in today world, which is the ETF that represent high-tech growth stock? I would say it's easily Cathy Wood ETF, right? Called the ARK Technology ETF. Okay, we call ARKK the symbol, right? So let us take a look what happened in February amid the NASDAQ crash. Amid the NASDAQ correction. This index crashed. The more high-tech you are, the more it crashed. ARKK, it dropped from $159. And by the way, this is an ETF. This is not even a share. This index dropped from $159, it dropped to as low as $100 in a span of just 2 months. This index really crashed, 50% drop. Can you imagine an index drop 50? Can you imagine S&P drop 50%? That will be one of the greatest bear market crash ever. And this is an index. This index doesn't comprise of only 30 shares. This index comprises of many high-tech stocks, okay? So 159, it dropped 50% its price. And that's the reason why a lot of tech stocks that belong to ARKK crash. It dropped more than 50%. Most of the tech stock dropped more than 50%. If your index dropped 50%, your tech stock can drop more than that, okay? It crashed, okay? So what are the tech stocks that crash? What are the tech stocks that crash in the last few months? I would say the EV bubble collapse. Okay, anything got to do with electric vehicle. I do understand you like Tesla a lot, you like electric vehicle a lot, but it crashed. It dropped from $900 to as low as $550 in the span of 2 months. It dropped 40%. It dropped 40%. Okay, and not only Tesla, but a very good so-called EV vehicle that is, of course, a China company that's listed in US. It also collapsed. NIO, okay, from $66, okay, Because of the Nasdaq drop, it crashed. It dropped to $30. It went as low as $30. It dropped 50%. 50% collapse in price. Another tech industry that crashed in the last few months is any tech stocks that's related to China. I call it the China tech collapse. So if some of you have been buying China shares, you will know, okay? A lot of tech stocks in China crash, okay? Not only US listed tech stocks, those that are listed in Hong Kong, those that are listed in Taiwan, okay? So China tech collapse, okay? Like Baidu, okay? Baidu, from $354, it dropped to as low as $180. 360 divided by 2 is 180. It dropped exactly 50%. It dropped 50%, okay? Another China tech company that got to do with technology, because they sell farming equipment online. So between the farmers as well as some these manufacturers, okay? So we call it Pinduoduo, right? A lot of people who like to buy China shares, they like to buy this stock, okay? So what happened is February, because of the Nasdaq crash, it also crashed. From $212, it dropped to as low as $113. It dropped exactly 50% from the peak. 212 divided by 2 is around $106. Okay, it dropped exactly 50% from the peak. Okay, so that's the second sector in tech that crashed. What's the third sector that crashed? Okay, over the last few months, I call it the COVID tech sector, COVID tech industry. Okay, anything that got to do with COVID that benefit from COVID over the last 1 year crash over the last few months in the first half of this year. A stock that I like is called Peloton. Okay, Peloton. Okay, so what is Peloton? Basically, they are selling gym equipment, whereby you can either rent or you can buy. Okay, you can put it in your house and you ride your gym. Okay, ride your bicycle. Okay, so they are selling gym equipment, especially the bike. Okay, but the good thing is you can interact. Okay, you can interact with the coach. Okay, so basically it's selling like hotcakes, especially during the lockdown period. This stock crashed. Okay, $170. It dropped exactly 50%. $170, it divided by 2 is $85. That week it dropped to 85. Of course, that's the lowest point. Today is around 124. Okay. Another stock that got to do with COVID and it benefit from COVID is this stock called Zoom. Okay, I'm sure you all know it. Okay, Zoom. Okay, so we do hold a lot of Zoom meetings nowadays. Okay, but this stock crashed over the last few months. From a high price of $588, it dropped by exactly half point. Okay, $580 divided by 2 is $260. Okay, somewhere around 200. Sorry, 590 divided by 2. 590 divided by 2 is, yeah, somewhere around, okay, 590. 590 divided by 2 is how much? Okay, 590 divided by 2 is 245, right? 245, somewhere around 245. Okay, 590 divided by 2, right? Is it 245? Oh, sorry, no. 590 divided by 2. 600 divided by 2 is 300, right? 590 divided by 2, okay? So 600 divided by 2 is 300, okay? So it dropped half price to 295, okay? 295, okay? It's the halfway point. So it dropped that week to 295 and rebounded from there. Today is around $387, okay? Again, half price, okay? Thank you for helping me out. Okay, my math is not that good. Okay, I need a calculator, by the way. Okay, so what happened is a lot of stocks that belong to the tech sector, because of the tech drop, it also crashed. Okay, it also crashed. Okay, so when the Nasdaq dropped 12%, technology stocks can drop as much as 50%, and I do mean a lot. Today I only quote you a few. There are a lot, a bunch of them. Some even drop half. Okay. Okay. But the most amazing thing is what happened. In February, Nasdaq crashed, right? Sorry, Nasdaq corrected, but Dow Jones did not. The three major index in America is Dow Jones, S&P 500, and Nasdaq index. Okay, Dow Jones in January, not only it did not correct, it keep on hitting new high after new high after new high. There isn't any correction. There isn't even a 10% correction. Okay, to me, a good correction, it must be at least 10%. Okay, that's what I call a mild correction. A severe correction can be as much as 20%, but a normal correction is somewhere around 15%. Okay, a 15% correction. Okay, but it did not. Dow Jones keep on hitting new high after new high after new high. What's the reason it keep on hitting new high after new high? I would say the number one reason why other indices did not correct as much as Nasdaq is because it hasn't reached the double up point. Nasdaq this year is the first index to double up. Dow Jones is still lagging behind. Okay, so what is the double up point of Dow Jones? 18,000 times 2. Can you please do me a favor? Okay, 18,000 times 2. What is the price? Can you put down the price in the comment box? Okay, 18,000 times 2 is 36,000 points. The highest it reached is in May, 35,000. It hasn't even reached 36,000 yet. And that's the reason why some sectors has dropped a lot, some sectors haven't. Tech sector is the first sector to drop. I would say there is a major correction. Some stocks crash 50%, some stocks crash more than that, okay? But Dow Jones related index, okay? Dow Jones related stocks did not drop so much, okay? Because it hasn't doubled up yet. Until today, it hasn't even doubled up yet. We are still 1,000 points from the peak, okay? Of course, now the price is around 34,500. We are still 1,500 points from the peak, okay? That's Dow Jones. What about what about S&P 500 index? Let's take a look at S&P 500 index, okay? This is S&P 500 index, okay? S&P 500 index, the lowest point it reached is 2,170, right? Around 2,170 points, okay? So if you take 2,170, multiply by 2, the exact figure is 3,340 points, right? Sorry, 4,340 points, okay? We are still around 50 points away. Of course, today it reached a high price of 4,003, but we are still 40 points away from the peak, okay? From the peak, okay? So there might be a chance if we reach 4,340, there will be some resistance there. There might be some resistance there, okay? In fact, the last few months, this index has been running crazily, okay? There might be some resistance somewhere around 4,340 points, okay? Of course, the last few Facebook live videos, I did say anything above 4,002, please don't buy shares anymore. There is a danger it might collapse, okay? Because you are getting near to 4,340 points. Anything above 4,002, please don't see anymore, except tech stocks, because tech stock has already dropped, right? Okay? So anything got to do with S&P 500, okay, you got to be careful if you reach that double up rule. Okay. So what happened this first half of the year? The first collapse happened in tech stocks. The second collapse happened to cryptocurrencies, right? And of course, the leading crypto is called bit ... Okay? Sorry, I can't pronounce the word because I will be banned in Facebook, okay? They actually have AI algorithm to detect whether you say the word bit ... okay? Once they detect it, this video will be banned, okay? So hopefully I don't say the word and everything is fine, okay? So what happened is cryptocurrency will collapse. You got to admit, okay, a lot of alternate currencies in one day, it dropped as much as 50% from the peak, okay? And a lot of crypto has not recovered until today because your major index has still still is hovering around 30,000 to 33,000 point, right? So it has dropped half price, okay? That was the second collapse, okay? Second collapse. Of course, not only that, Taiwan, one of the index in Asia, also has the largest drop in 20 years. And that day was May the 12th. May the 12th, okay? So what happened is Taiwan index, May 12th, it collapsed somewhere around 20% in just 2 days. 20% in 2 days. 17,000 point, it dropped to 15,200 point. It collapsed, okay? Why? Because Taiwan got a lot of tech stocks. Taiwan is known for its tech counters, okay? It crashed, okay? And later, I'm going to share with you what is the latest index that crashed over the last 2 months. What is the latest index that crashed, okay? Hopefully, it's not S&P 500, okay? But there are some indices that also crash, along with Taiwan, along with crypto, along with technology stocks, okay? So, by the way, okay, if some of you like to have some tips for this second half of the year, what are the stocks to look at to put in your watch list, especially with Joe Biden coming out with a $1 trillion infrastructure bill that's going to help infrastructure stocks. So if you want to know the answer, I have done my research and I came up with this digital report. I do understand some of you already got it. Fantastic, okay? But if some of you have not gotten this digital report, I'm going to give it to you free. Okay, I've spent many hours researching on infrastructure stocks. Okay, there was a period whereby people were thinking infrastructure bill would never pass through, right? But it did pass through over the last few days, okay? So I'm sure in the second half of this year, or perhaps next year, infrastructure stocks, some of the infrastructure counters will definitely benefit from this $1 trillion, okay? So hopefully, okay, now it's no longer the $2 trillion package, okay? It's only $1 trillion, okay? 1T only, okay? So if you want to know the top three infrastructure stocks that's listed in America, that I think over the next few years will have tremendous potential, So if you want to know this and get this digital report for free, okay, do me a favor. All you need to do is like our page, okay? All you need to do is like our Facebook page. Of course, in YouTube, you just have a like. Like our Facebook page, it's called Daniel Low Investment Group. Like and share this video as a public post, okay? As a public post. I think in YouTube, we couldn't see whether you share or not, okay? If I'm not wrong, okay? But in we couldn't track, okay? So that's the reason why we couldn't give you the digital report, okay? But if you may, go to our Facebook page. It's called Daniel Low Investment Group. All you need to do is like and share today's video as a public post and tag as many friends as possible. Step 3. And lastly, comment on shared. Once you do all the 3 steps, comment on shared in this post. And what we are going to do is within 7 days, we will give you the digital report. Of course, this digital report lists down some of the stocks that I like. And in fact, over the last few weeks, this stock has already fallen quite a bit. Some has fallen around 10 to 20%. So it's time to pick up some infrastructure stocks, okay? So if you want, you can get it for free. Do these 4 steps. Okay, thank you so much. So what are some indices that also collapsed over the last 1 month? In June, do you know what index collapsed? If you know, can you please comment? Okay. Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, Yvonne, thank you for sharing. Okay. If you know what index actually collapsed, okay. Kai In Ching asked a very important question, okay? Are this correction orchestrated, okay, by hedge funds like BlackRock? Okay. Of course, this is what we call conspiracy theory, okay? My own opinion is, yes, there are some institutions that purposely shorted, I would say, perhaps shorted Cathy Wood related stocks, okay? The ARKK index, okay? Whatever stocks that's in this index are being shorted crazily over the last few months, okay? Of course, some has recovered, I would say some has recovered, but that was what happened somewhere around February to May period, okay? A lot of her stocks actually crashed. Of course, you can relate to it as a high-tech growth stock. Basically, high-tech growth stocks, Cathy Wood related stocks, most of them are purely speculation, okay? A lot of them are speculation, okay? They did not achieve the revenue or the earnings yet. But I would say Cathy Wood is one step ahead, okay? She tried to predict in the next 5 to 10 years, what are the good growth counters that can triple its earnings, okay? Multiply its earnings, okay? One step ahead. So that's the reason why she buy into stocks, okay, that is not yet proven, okay? Not yet proven in its earnings, I would say, okay? Definitely not the tech stocks, not the strong cap tech stocks like Apple, definitely not Microsoft or even Facebook, okay? So that may be part of the reason because it's purely highly speculative, okay? So maybe there are some funds that actually purposely, okay, short her stock, okay? Anything that's related to high growth, okay? Okay, what are some of the, thank you for your share, okay? What are some of the index that also crashed last 1 month? Perhaps you may have not noticed it, okay? There are some index that crash. A 20% drop, okay, in just 1 month, I would say is a crash, okay? Let me tell you what. Agriculture. Some of the agriculture indices collapsed over the last 1 month. Soybean. If somebody knows soybean, from last May, it was hovering around $800. This May, 1 year later, it went up to $1,667. It doubled up its value in 1 year. Like what I said, this is a double up rule. Any index that double up in 1 year, in the second year, there is bound to be a big correction. All right? Then from 1,600 point over the last 1-2 months, especially in June, okay, the highest it reached is 1,667, right? It went down to as low as $1,300. Can you imagine? 1 month it dropped 300 point. 300 point divided by 1,006. You can use your calculator to calculate, okay? Almost a 360 point drop in a span of 1.5 months. To me is a crash. To me, it's almost like mini crash, okay? $360 drop divided by 1,006. I don't know what's the answer. It is somewhere around 20%. It is somewhere around 20%. Not only that, corn price, it dropped from $638 over the last 2 months. It dropped to as low as $500. Corn price dropped $130. $130 divided by $600 is easily 15 to 20%. Easily, okay? 15 to 20%. So if some of you did not notice, wheat also dropped, but wheat did not drop a lot because wheat has not doubled up yet. Okay? So let's take a look at corn price today. Yeah. So corn actually reached the bottom of $300. So 300 times 2 is $600, right? But corn did not stop at 600. What happened? In April, it crossed the $600 barrier by another 100 point. The more it goes up, the more it will come down. And that's what happened. Okay, corn price actually dropped around 20% in just 1-2 months. Okay, just like soybean. But the good news is not all agriculture commodities drop that much. You can see wheat. Okay, the lowest price it reached is $420. So if you multiply by 2, it will be 840. The good news is wheat hasn't reached its double point. It's almost just like Dow Jones. We are still 1,000 point away. S&P 500 is still 40 points away. Nasdaq is the first among three index to hit the double point in January and February, and that's what led to the crash in technology stocks. But out of the three major agricultural indices, corn, wheat, and soybean, two of them reached the double point except wheat. So that's the reason why wheat, it does drop, 770 drop to 650. It's just 100 point drop. 100 point drop, okay? I would say it's not as much in terms of magnitude as corn and soybean. So to me, wheat is almost, okay, Dow Jones today. We haven't reached that point yet, okay? So now the next question, what index might drop next, okay? Definitely the index that has not dropped 15% yet. Other indices you need to be wary of. The moment it hits the double point, there is a good chance it may drop. It may drop, okay? My take is you need to be careful about Dow Jones as well as S&P 500 today. Okay, like what I said, we are not far away from 36,000. S&P is not far away from 4,340. The moment both these index increase to that double point, you need to be extremely wary. Any point in time, any sectors that's related to these indices might have a chance of dropping. And when you talk about S&P 500, I do mean all the sectors, because S&P 500 is a very balanced index. Okay, it comprises of stocks from all kinds of sectors. It's not as biased as Nasdaq, technology-based counters. Okay. Let us take a look at S&P 500. Okay. Okay. So over the next 1 month, okay, of course now everything is still bullish. There are still some counters that recover. Okay, a lot of tech sectors has been recovering, right? But if this month the critical support is broken, I want you to be extremely vigilant and careful. Okay, try to protect your portfolio by putting a very tight stop loss, just in case it breaks that critical support. And if you want to know what is the critical support I'm looking at, can you give me a 2 sign? I'm going to give you 2 numbers. If this critical support this month in July is broken, it might lead to a big correction. Okay, a big correction, like what I said, it can be 15% to 20%. If a mild correction, it can be a 10% drop. But your stocks can drop easily 30%. Okay, so if you want to know the 2 critical support, okay, I want you to take note this month when it comes to S&P 500. Okay, if you want to know the number, give me a 2 sign. Okay, I'm going to share with you. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for your 2s. Okay, the first critical support of S&P 500 this month is 4,265 points. Okay, that I will say is the first support of S&P 500. Okay, 4,265. Okay, so this is what I have been using all this while. It's my own proprietary indicator. It's called the cash ringing system. Okay, so it enables me to know where is the support for the entire month. And if this support is broken, okay, both these supports are broken, it might mean a big correction coming. Okay, so the first number to note is 4,265. Okay, please take note. Second number to note is 4,210. So the first support is 4,265. If it's broken, hopefully 4,210 hold. But if 4,210 is broken, there might be a chance of a big correction coming. Okay, a big correction coming this month. So take note, this month, the critical support to look at is 4,210 points. 4,210. Okay? This is what I call the CRS. Okay? And if some of you have been keeping track of my Facebook page, even before the cryptocurrency crash, bit at 55,000 point, that day I said there might be a drop. Okay, I'm aiming for 17,000 point. What's the reason? Is because it dropped through my critical support. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you in advance this in July S&P 500 critical support. Okay, let's say you ignore the top support of 4260, but the bottom support must hold 4,210. Okay, just remember somewhere around 4,002. Okay, so if you break below 4,002, just be careful. Okay, but anything above 4,002 is still considered bullish this month. Okay, I'm not betting that in July there might be some correction, but definitely there will be if it reach 4,300, somewhere around 40 point. Okay, the double up point. Okay, there is bound to be some correction in the second half of this year. Okay. Okay, now, so what do you do as an investor? Okay, what do you do as an investor? Okay, number one, okay, take note, like what I said, NASDAQ has dropped, but some other sectors haven't, right? So market might still have a correction in the next few months. Let us see what happened to S&P 500 and Dow Jones, okay? The bad news is that today, Joe Biden won't have any more big stimulus package coming up to spur the stock market. Okay, that is the bad news. For the second half of this year, Joe Biden will never print money anymore unless the stock market has a big correction. Okay, you can see that in the last few months, he has a hard time trying to convince his own party, the Democratic Party, to come to a consensus to print the $2.3 trillion infrastructure bill. He has a very hard time even convincing his own party candidates, even convincing his own Democrat Party to allow him to print $2.3 trillion. Why? Because there is a big inflation problem coming up in US today. All the products are rising in price crazily, okay? They have hit a 13 years high, 13 years inflation high point, okay? So that's the reason why a lot of party candidates object the printing of money. So I'm not talking about the opposition party objection. I'm talking about its own party, okay? So my take is in the next half a year, there won't be any more stimulus package. And that means the stock market has a chance of correcting, okay? So the price of other sectors, apart from tech, will need to drop so that the market do not have inflation worries, okay? So nowadays, what happened is we are putting inflation figures, inflation pressure on the government officials. Okay, on Wall Street is focusing so much on inflation problems. Okay, so most likely that will be the agenda of U.S. Government in the next half a year. Okay, try to fight against this inflation. Okay, so one of the way is they will not print money. Number two is they will hasten the rise of interest rate, definitely, okay? So that's the reason why I feel the stock market has a chance of correcting. And once it corrects, okay, example, if your index drop around 10 to 15%, what happened is this worry will be gone. The moment this worry will be gone, the moment this worry is gone, Joe Biden has an excuse to print more money again. That's when the market will revive, okay? So my take for you is, in the next half a year, know when the bottom of the correction might be. Today, we are still in the peak of a bull market rally. There might be some correction. Try to capture that bottom. The bottom will be somewhere around 10 to 20% from the peak. Okay? That's the bottom I'm looking at. A severe correction can be as much as 20. A mild correction is 10. On average is 15. Okay? On average is 15 from the peak. Okay? So once you know the correct timing and time it correctly, you can buy the good stocks that has turned very cheap. Okay? So the fifth step in the next half a year, I want you to do, know what are the good, cheap tech stocks to buy in. Okay? What are the good, cheap tech stocks to buy in? Okay? One of the rule, I give you a hint. One of the rule you can use to select the good cheap tech stocks, okay, is called the 50% rule, the half rule, okay? So if just now you notice, those stocks that I talked about that collapse, okay, be it new, it dropped 50%, now it rises back up to $53, right? It bottomed exactly at around $33, okay? By $350, okay, it dropped half point to around 180 and rebounded from there. Pintoto also did the same thing. $200 divided by 2 is 110, okay? Peloton, okay, $170 divided by 2, okay, is somewhere around $160, $170, $165, $170 divided by 2 is how much? $85, right? 85, that was the bottom of Peloton. Okay, today it rises back up to 124, okay? Zoom, similarly, 588 divided by 2, okay, is somewhere around $290, and today is back up at 387, okay? So what I want you to take note is, what are some of the tech stocks, good tech stocks, that has dropped at least 50%? These are some of the things, these are some of the stocks that you can start to look at, you can start to buy, okay? And just in case, let's say you don't know what are the stocks to look at, don't know what to put in your watch list, we welcome you to join our Stock Investing Physical Masterclass in Singapore, okay? We'll be holding this seminar in Singapore, and if you want to join us to know what will be the up and coming stocks to watch out for, how do you identify the bottom of a market in a correction, okay? How do you build your retirement portfolio? I'm also going to share with you the 3 characteristics and traits of a successful investor. How do you execute monthly trades to make a monthly income, okay? So if you want to know all this, we do welcome you to a physical masterclass whereby I will hands-on teach you what are the stocks to look at for the second half of this year, okay? Of course, today is just a short seminar. I don't have time to go into the details. So if you want to know more, come for our physical masterclass, okay? So thank you so much. Today is just a short briefing of this next few months. What is the outlook? And in July, what is the critical support you need to look at? Remember, okay, if that critical support is broken, just be careful, okay? So thank you so much. If you want to know more, join our masterclass, okay? See you again. Hope to see you soon in the next Facebook Live or YouTube Live, okay? Hope every one of us stay healthy. Thank you and good luck. Hope you make some money.